The voice on the other end of the 911 line is shaking. It's barely a whisper. Someone's in the house. I think they're coming upstairs. This isn't a horror movie. This isn't a campfire story. Tonight, we re-diving into real 911 calls made by babysitters who expected a quiet night and instead found themselves trapped in situations no one prepares you for. What would you do if babysitting became a fight for survival? Before we continue, it's important to say this clearly. These stories are not shared for shock value. They are real emergencies, experienced by real people, often teenagers, who were suddenly responsible not only for children but for staying alive. This episode focuses on the moment fear becomes real. And the decision to pick up the phone and call for help? Babysitting usually begins the same way. The parents leave, the house settles. The children fall asleep. There's a comforting silence broken only by the hum of appliances or the glow of a television. This is the moment when guards go down. When fear feels impossible, but in many of these cases, that calm was only temporary. Sound downstairs. A door that wasn't open before. Footsteps that don't belong to the house. At first, babysitters tried to rationalize it. It's the wind. It's the house settling. I'm just tired. Till the feeling became impossible to ignore. Someone was there. Fear doesn't arrive all at once. It creeps in, slowly tightening the chest, sharpening every sound. Many sitters described the same moment of clarity. The instant they stopped questioning themselves. The instant they realized, I am not alone. This is where hesitation becomes dangerous. And this is where a simple decision changes everything. Calling 911 isn't easy, especially when you're young, especially when you're afraid of being wrong. But in these cases, fear overpowered doubt, hands shaking, voices breaking, whispers so quiet they barely carried through the phone. Dispatchers heard it immediately, not panic. Not screaming. But controlled terror, the kind that comes from knowing something is very, very wrong. These were not dramatic performances. They were survival instincts. Home invasions. In some cases, intruders had already entered the home. Unlocked doors. Broken windows. Shadows moving in rooms that should have been empty. Babysitters barricaded themselves in bedrooms, holding doors shut, while whispering instructions to sleeping children. Police later confirmed suspects had been inside, sometimes only feet away. Unexplained phenomena. Other calls were harder to explain. Locked doors opening on their own, basement's lights turning on. Sounds moving from room to room. In several cases, police found no evidence, but also no explanation. The babysitters were not dismissed. They were believed because fear like that can't be faked. Medical emergencies and sudden violence, some calls weren't about intruders at all. Children who stopped breathing, sudden seizures, violent situations unfolding without warning. Teenagers, entrained and terrified, had to follow instructions that determined whether a child lived or died. These were moments that ended childhood in seconds. When help finally arrived, relief came, but it wasn't the end. Police lights filled driveways, parents rushed home, statements were taken. But for many babysitters, something lingered. Nightmares, hypervigilance. Fear of being alone in quiet houses, some never babysat again. Others carried that night with them for years. These stories reveal something uncomfortable. Babysitters are often underprepared, underprotected, and overtrusted. They enter unfamiliar homes. They don't know every exit. They don't know every sound. Yet they're expected to handle emergencies alone. These calls remind us that preparation matters. Trust your instincts, know when to act, and never hesitate to ask for help. Most babysitting nights end quietly, but these didn't. These calls remind us that danger doesn't announce itself, and that courage sometimes sounds like a trembling voice on the phone saying, "Please hurry." Thank you for watching Legends and Crimes. If you believe these real stories deserve to be told with care and respect, consider subscribing. And until next time, stay aware, stay safe.